Hello, everyone. We're back for our Friday edition of Awakening Spiritual Gifts. And we're here answering your questions about your spiritual gifts, about your purpose. Maybe you even have new gifts arriving. We do every day. Like it seems like almost every other week, it feels like I'm getting something new. So we can always look at that, struggles, any challenges or blocks. So we're excited to do that for you today. Let's get into the daily energy.
Yeah.
I'm
So I
really
just,
curious if there's anything new about this message that's been in the distance.
yeah, I actually took a look at it while I was kind of waiting for it to start, which, does anybody else dance on that music, that 30-second countdown
I
music?
do. You can't
I'm
see
over
me
here
though.
like, dun, 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 like, ooh, it's so exciting. It's going to start. So yeah, I'm over here dancing away. And I kind of took a look a little bit because the energies and what I'm seeing lately is there's some big stuff. And so sometimes when there's big energies, it takes a minute to try to decipher it. So I may start looking if it keeps getting bigger things and things in the horizon and coming in. I might actually take a little more time ahead of time. But it is kind of fun just to do it on the spot. You guys are hearing about it as I'm discovering it or taking a look. In fact, I kind of feel like letting people know how kind of my site works. So it's like there's things always going on in the site. This is why I like specific questions or trying to narrow things down. I can do just general ones on certain things, but it really, if you want specific answers, it helps to have more direct questions because then I can like, okay, ignore this energy, ignore this that I'm seeing and really focus in. And um, so it's kind of like, it's always going. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I just want to look at like some of the general stuff going out through the day. And so I kind of step out of, because there's energy in the house that I'm sitting in. I've got to sift through what the room is doing, what's coming off the furniture and the lights above me and people in the house, and there's all this going on. It reminds me of, I always liken it to X-Men and Cyclops. Do you guys have ever seen X-Men? I love superhero stuff. Or fantasy. I'm just kind of like that. But it reminds me of Cyclops where his laser beam eyes were always on, but he just had these glasses that came over his eyes and he would just do this little switch and it would open up when he wanted the laser beams to come out so that they weren't always on. So that's kind of what I've developed is it's always in the background, but just I'm looking right now. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to shift gaze to someone else. Open up the glasses to the new thing to look at. So that's probably how I can do it so fast too. Um, then, so I kind of looked at it ahead of time and I think that there was even more purpose in me doing so because I had something come up that I'm going to liken to it. In fact, I got to have my phone up here because there's an image that I'm going to go off of. Okay, so some of that same coloring is going on today that we've been seeing lately. It's kind of that goldish yellow, sparkly light. That was kind of the message. First, it started with like the winds of change look, and it still has a little bit of that pattern still going through the sky. And that same kind of similar coloring. And I could see that it would be also that people were going to start to receive some of these messages that were coming in. And today, what I'm seeing is it almost looks like different, almost like it's coming down in, almost like looking like an arrow in the way that it moves. But it reminds me of coming down into like categories or groups of people. And so I'm seeing like a larger area and like a group of like many people getting like one specific message. And I'm seeing another group of people getting another specific type of message. And then I'm seeing a smaller group of people over here getting a specific message. And then there's like a arrowy kind of message coming into like the one or just like single people, like just like one person getting a specific message. And so it's kind of fascinating to see that all these categories are going on. And so then I started looking at like, what are these messages? Why are they categories of people? What does that mean? And when I leaned into that and looked at it, it reminded me of, and I almost felt as I was looking at it, I kind of had a little bit of awe and I actually kind of felt a little emotions rise up. So I'm trying to do it without too many emotions, but it really is awe-inspiring. And it just reminded me of um, God giving his people instructions. And we know that there's a spiritual battle that is being played out, um, and that we're all part of it. Like we're part of it, whether we're physical beings or on the other side, there's also things like we're all in this process, in this journey together. And so what I'm seeing is it's like he's giving instructions to the different roles that people have to play. So I'm picturing almost like like in a battle, or if you have any type of like meetings with people with have certain roles. So, okay, here we're going to have a meeting. These are our frontline soldiers. Okay, this is a big group of frontline soldiers, and we're going to all have this conversation. And here's what's coming, and here's what to expect. Okay, now I got my communication specialist over here, and I'm going to have all my communication people, and I'm going to tell them what to look for. And this is very specific. And then over here, I've got my war generals, and I've got to give them instructions so that they know how to lead out it while in the battle out there, and da da da. And then I've got this, and then there's the individual people are like, okay, you're in charge of like this, like helping in a bigger area, like more like the delegating of it or whatever. And so it just felt like all of these instructions were just, these people were all receiving something, and this is everyone. So whatever your role and whatever part you play in it, you are receiving instructions right now. Now, it also has a flavor in this message of being kind of a motivational speech. And it reminded me of like, some of these great speeches all through time that we tap into sometimes. It's kind of like, I know this is hard, but this is or every coach, right? Like you're in this game and it's close and it's tied and you're feeling beat up at the end, and then the coach comes in and gives this motivational speech to get you going and to rile you up, to know that there's victory on the horizon. That is part of the message, is there's victory on the horizon. I know you feel beat up. Everybody, you're doing so good. So proud of you. You're doing great. Come on, you can do it. We're almost there. So it's that kind of message. And then I flashed to and this is where it gets a little emotional, because I could see that people are feeling bloodied. They're feeling beat up. And we're being asked to stand up anyway. And I was flashing to the poem Invictus. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I felt like I wanted to read this. So it just says, I'm just going to read the whole thing. There's one particular part, one phrasing that really stood out to me, but I just felt like to read it. But Invictus is also meaning unconquerable. And it says, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. That is the part that was really strong. Having bloodied heads, but you're still holding your head up high. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. That was by William Henley. So, yeah, y'all, I know you guys are getting some bludgeonings of chance, and your heads are bloodied, yet you're still unbowed, and you are being asked to rise up at the end of the game after you've been taking hits and feeling it and being like, holy crap, like, I just need a break. I just need some water. And we're like, hang in there. You got this. Like, you can do it. So that is the daily energy. And then also apparently there was a daily message for us all with that one.
That's really great. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting question because I don't see any questions quite yet. So I'm like, I'm going to ask my question. So, we've been doing these daily energies now for the last month and a half or so. And I'm like also curious about like looking ahead, like, is there something, can you look out further? Like maybe it's not just like the daily, but maybe it's like this month or this next quarter, or like, are there some things that we can glean from that? Because Well, this message today is pretty interesting about people feeling bloodied, but, still have to rise up and, like, there's messages coming in, like, can we know where it's leading to? Like, can we flip to the back of the book and, like, read the ending?
I know, right? Well, sometimes you know how future stuff is. It can
Well,
change
yeah, yeah,
based
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah. I
people
do.
and choices and I
Well,
really
what
do
about the
think
different groups? Like, do you have other insights about the different groups? You said this group is getting this kind of message, this other group's getting this kind of message. Like, is there anything else
hmm,
in the present time that we could look at?
yeah, let's look at this. So, one of the groups, I feel like the large like one of the larger population of the groups, I want to say that they have some roles around fortification. This actually is kind of fascinating to me too, because some of the patterns with these remind me of some of our intuitive personality tests and the gifts and the energies really that we each bring based on our divine personalities and the energies that we have. And the majority of population is what we call the earth types. That's really the ones that help create the structure, the systems, the traditions, our government, our school, like all of those things are some of the system structure that earth type people really bring. And so really super grateful for that. We've had a lot of uprooting of these things going on. And I'm sure that if you have that intuitive personality type, then it might feel especially ground shaking for you, because it's like, whoa, there's nothing to stand on. And you heavily rely on that stability and what to expect, what's been done before, what's going to work in the future. And so I see that there's some fortification gifts that you're going to bring in, where things have been now rocky, but now we've got to restore some of that, and bring in some groundedness to all of us, which is really good. Fortification, that's the groundedness of it. Um, and then I'm also seeing there's definitely some healers. So I'm seeing some healers being activated, like literally activated. Like I'm seeing the energy go into their mind, to their heart, and to their hands, and to their bodies. It's like boom, I know exactly how to help and to serve and to heal people, um, through whatever method that is, healing the body, healing the mind, like just a lot of different aspects of healing, gifts and abilities. I'm also teaching. I'm seeing like teachers. I'm seeing speakers. I'm seeing a lot of mouths being opened and like calling you forth to just have this mouth of like a clarion call. Um, I'm seeing some watchmen's, which in a way the watchmen kind of have some of the voicings, but really it's more the I thing, where it's more these voices of warning, because they see things. It's like, I see something on the horizon. And honestly, those watchmen people too, I see that they're going to receive some flack from what they say. There's people that are going to push back and not be so nice about it. So seeing some of that. And then if I were to just look at even some of the future stuff, it's funny when I ask that question, I look at like, okay, what is this leading to? It almost feels like this dumb moment, like, where like things are increasing because there's going to be a rebirth, a coming, right? Like, um, so definitely, I'm just seeing like preparing, that whole second coming thing. I do believe we're already in the apocalypse, because that word just literally just means a revealing, and things that are hidden to be made known. Um, and I feel like that's part of all this, like stuff just coming up. We don't know how long the apocalypse is going to be. We don't know, like we don't have a set. It's going to go from here to here, but I do believe that we're in the stages of it, um, because it's just all the revealings and stuff. So yeah, just kind of feels like part of it, and and all of us have a role to play, and all of us are being called to things. So good stuff.
All right, we have our first question, Bonnie Lee. I know I've asked questions before, and that's great, Bonnie Lee, because you also share and pay it forward too. So we love to, keep coming back to these people. Okay, so can you possibly look at gifts that you see coming in for me? Kind of a general reading for me, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Hi, Bonnie. Also, shout out to Elaine. That was so nice of you to say. You're so sweet. Thank you. She said I look beautiful today, which I thank you, because I'm like wearing like my son's old hoodie from when like he was in junior high. It's like my favorite hoodie because it's so cozy, but it's so it's yeah, not like super stylish or anything. So thank you. Alrighty. So Bonnie Lee, let's look at this. Look at the gifts. General reading. Okay, I'm going to just kind of do some generating. I know we've done some of the senses, and we've looked at some of the senses for you and some of the gifts. And this is a type of gift, but when I first look at you, the thing that I'm seeing is that you're actually having a lot of divine information pour into you right now. Right above the crown of your head, it's like I'm seeing this kind of that gold kind of divine light that I see, and it just comes down, and it looks like kind of water pouring in. So it's going into your mind, into your eyes, and it's just like flowing into you. So it feels like you're getting, that's funny, you're getting a lot of divine instruction. I just read the daily energy. Yes, we are, but I can see a particularly large amount coming into you very specifically. Oh, hold on, now I'm getting hot. And it does feel, it is coming down into your mouth as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden you find yourself speaking up more or feeling inspired to say certain things. And so just keep that channel nice and open. It feels very much like there's that's so funny. It's just instructional energy that I'm seeing. It's similar to what I was seeing in the daily energy, but it's like teaching you what to do with your gifts. Okay, here's what you got to do. Here's how it's going to work for you. Here's what you got to say here, and go here and talk to this person. It just, so I would, if anything, I would just lean into that. Trust what you're feeling, especially right now. Like lean in. You may want to journal. You may even just want to do like your morning, like do your prayers and meditation and be like, where do I go today? What do I say? Who do I serve? And really just follow those things and find out like how your gifts and how things are starting to develop and manifest, because they're coming in. So
Awesome. Let us know, Bonnie Lee, how that resonated. And then let's go to Elaine. She's asking for a general reading. She says, I just can't seem to stay motivated and feel overwhelmed with everything.
Hi, Elaine. I can guarantee you're not alone in that feeling. There's a lot of people that are definitely feeling similar things on that. So yeah, so let's look at this for you, Elaine. Okay, so one of the first things that I'm seeing is so I'm seeing that you have kind of a pure way of thinking about things. I'd say feeling about things, but it really, I mean, like, yes, your heart is also pure, but it's like the way that you view the world. It's like I see it having this beautiful like kind of structure in the mind. Like here's how things can be for its like ultimate most pleasurable desired outcome. So that's what I mean. It's very pure in intention. And it just like, here's how to live a happy life. And you just kind of see things within this framing, I guess that's a good word to say. It's like a framework of how to live a happy life. But then what I'm seeing is that there are things that maybe you might be witnessing or experiencing that are out of those, like that framework. And it's like your head is not understanding. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand this. The same type of thing can happen. I've seen this a lot with people. Like if within your framework, it's like treat each other nice, like be a good person to other people. And then all of a sudden you see some cruel or mean behavior. It's like, it messes with the head. It's like, whoa, that does not compute. Like I don't understand it. It does not compute. because within my framework, it just doesn't make sense to be mean or to, to hurt somebody. So there's things that you're experiencing in your life that are out of that framework. And it's like, I don't understand that. Or another example of this would be to see someone intentionally make a life choice that is out of that framework. You're going to be like, why are you making that choice? That's only bringing you sadness and pain. Like, why would you do that? Like, I just don't understand. Like, why don't you just do these things within this framework? Because then you can be happy and be safe and all those things. So it comes from definitely a pure place. I would even say it's one of your gifts to be able to see that framework. Sometimes though, that even if that framework may be true, another person's experience in life and the lessons that they're meant to learn may not fit within that framework. I'm going to totally be like, I'm kind of one of those people. Like my parents, like even just naturally as a young girl, like my parents would be like, oh, do this and you don't get hurt. Don't touch the stovetop, Martina. Don't touch it. This will burn your hand. And I would like glare at my parents for like, how dare you tell me what to do? And I walked over literally as a young girl and went, and put my hand on the stovetop because it's like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. So of course my hand gets burned and I had to learn the hard way. So I'm one of those. I have to push the framework. I have to like go outside of it to even decide whether or not I want to choose to be in it. So you've got this beautiful gift of seeing and like, hey, let's just live within this. But just to remember that there's others around you that don't operate like that. They got to go out of it to learn the hard way. And then to be able to choose that. And so what I can see here, and this could be like an enhancement of your gift and ability. And this could be even what you could do in like your prayers, or even the like a gentle way in which you could lovingly respond to a person, or even invite them to things, or even just reaching out and serving people. I see like this golden framework for you, but then I see you reaching out and like strands coming out of the framework, like hands, like here, let me reach out and hold your hand. I'm in my framework, but I'm going to hold the hand and you're out of the framework. And I'm at least going to hold your hand and let you know that I love you and that I'm here for you. And, like I said, it could even be prayers or intentions where you could like be within your framework and then just send out little strands of this beautiful light and just be like, hey, I love you. I'm in this framework and I would love to have you join me, but I understand where you're at and I love you. And so I feel like that just, so it's like, instead of just staying within the framework, it kind of expands it out with like little loving messages and actions that can go out of that. And that also can bring you greater peace. So it's like sitting in the eye of the storm versus going out into the storm. So you can sit in that quiet, peaceful eye of the storm. And, in the same kind of concept with the framework where you can send a hand out into the storm, but you're not escaping it, because it does feel really important. If you leave that, then you're going to be in turmoil and tossed about kind of chaotically. So, for motivation and all that, I would just say, just strengthen that inner core, that inner peace, and then just expand outwards. And it also does require a level of releasing the outcome, letting people take whatever paths they take, and just trusting in the path, trusting in the process, and letting, just that allowing and love and releasing. So anyway, I hope that helps.
Oh, that's beautiful. Let us know in the comments, Elaine. And Bonnie Lee is actually responding to what you had just looked at. She thought it was really interesting and beautiful. So that was nice. Thank you for letting us know that. And then actually there's a couple of Intuition Gym members in the feed saying they want to know more about the energy reading and to discuss it further on our Wonder Wednesday and at the gym. And Alicia's like, yes, I want to know who I am and in what group. So anyway, kind of fun.
We're going to put that on our agenda for Wonder Wednesday.
I think that would be really cool.
Like maybe even before then I can identify more the categories or whatever. And then on the call, we can identify and just be like, oh yeah, I'm totally in this category. And then I would love to even have people go, I think I'm in this category and this is what I'm receiving. And then I can be like, I think I'm in this category. This is what I'm receiving. Then we can compare messages. That'd be cool.
That would be so interesting. Yes. So if there's anybody who's not a member of the Intuition Gym and you want in, you can come in, you can join anytime. So Derek, okay, new face. I think this must be related to Sherry. She tagged him in the comments. Can I get a reading on my gifts and talents to help focus my energy on things I can add value to?
Hi, Derek. What is this, Derek, or am I talking to wife? Are you sharing? Is this
Derek.
Derek?
I think
Hey,
you're talking to
you're
Derek.
talking to
No,
Derek.
Sherry
Awesome.
Hartman actually tagged a couple of Hartman. So
Sweet. Hi,
yeah.
Derek. Okay, let's look at this. Let's see. Reading the gifts and talents help focus on energy to add value to. First of all, I love that question. The way that you phrase that was it's a unique way to phrase it, because things that you can add value to. So that kind of gives me some clues on your personality too, and what drives you, what brings you to life, what you are experiencing in life, and wanting to have that value and worth, and things that you can do. So that's very beautiful. I just want to say that. Okay, so let's look at your energy on this, and I'm going to follow the flow of it, because when I follow like the pattern of it and where it's going, it can kind of show us. It can show us where to do the value. Like where it's going to go. Okay, first of all, one of the things I'm seeing is, like, right off the bat, I'm seeing your mind and your eyes. So your mind, I see the pattern of the energy and the way it moves your mind. I see actually you kind of have a unique way of thinking and processing things. It kind of looks like in the flow of it kind of reminds me of like a Rubik's Cube or something that likes to figure things out. So it's like I see just kind of maybe you're thinking and trying to figure things out, find those solutions. So it's really kind of a cool pattern I see there. And then the energy in the eyes, it like takes in information, but it almost is more of like an inward focus. And so that also aids in your ability and your gifts with figuring things out. I do see also there's like a humanity element in your gifts. So if I were to like say, like if you were like an inventor, I would say you were like an inventor, like how can I make things easier for people, or how can I make them better for people? So it's not just like how do I make a machine, but it's how do I do it for people to make their lives easier and better. So that's kind of a cool thing, that inventiveness with the humanity element. I don't know if you write, but I see some words and the way things flow through you, but it doesn't necessarily flow out in a very like, hey, everybody, I want to be a public speaker and speak about all these things. Even if you do that someday, that doesn't mean you can't, but it's just saying that the way that these words flow is it's almost like to capture it on paper, or to capture some of the structure in which you can figure things out. You might even have the ability there to take some complex things and go, let me figure it out, and then to put it in a simpler form. And so then by you writing it or sharing it through your voice, then people can understand it because you've now taken it and condensed it and put it in this little, figured out the solution of it. So that's really, really cool. So adding value, I would just lean into that gift. Not everyone is going to have the ability to figure some of the things out like you could. So as you do so, I would definitely make sure you capture them in some way and share them. I'm seeing something about your physical body. There's an importance with your physical body. And I don't know what's going on in your physical body, but it feels like to remind you the importance of taking care of your physical health, especially with exercise. So working out, maybe there's something you train for specifically, but this also could be the fact that you might actually have clair movement is what I call it. Like where sometimes when you're in motion, or when you see things in motion, you gain a lot of information from it. So it feels like that connection there. Like for meditating, it might actually be better for you to actually put your body in motion in order to get those deeper inspirations. So anyway, and if you don't know what that's about, we do go in depth on that on our free training. We go into the top 10 spiritual senses. And so if you want to know more about that specific one, I would totally, or any of them, but I would definitely recommend watching that training to find out. Especially too, because especially with it coming through your mind, you probably have some of the clear knowing or the clear cognizant, which is the clear knowing, and then as well some of the others. So good question.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek, for asking that. And Derek's the son of Sherry, and he's married to Taylor. So that's like a whole family in the feed. So that's really cool to see. Lots of people sharing today. Thank you so much. A lot of people loved the energy reading at the beginning, and then I see more members who are like, "Yes, let's please go more in depth on the Wonder Wednesday in the Intuition Gym." So yeah, that's really cool. Okay, and then I saw Mitchell. I would love to hear what's coming up for me. Thank you both.
Okay, cool. I'm also reading some of these comments. Like Nicole Olson, I love Erica. She's actually been to one of my Warrior of Light events. So I'm
Oh, that's
so
cool.
happy that you tagged her. So happy you tagged her. Man, I would love to have both of you guys in the Intuition Gym too. That'd be fun to have you guys there. I just love her. She's a sunshine. Like she's just a bright person. Brings sunshine to others. Okay. Mitchell. Good. Welcome. Cool logo on your little thing there, the tree. All right, let's see what comes up for you. Well, Mitchell, you're up leveling in your voice, I see. When I look at you, I'm seeing, this is another cool, I'm seeing some more of that, like inspiration, that same kind of coloring of the messages. I'm so glad we're doing this today so I can see it coming into people. This is cool. But I'm seeing it coming in that golden kind of message that was in our daily energy at the beginning, if you didn't watch it, but it's coming down into you, and it's the flow of it is coming out through your mouth. It's like boom, boom, boom. It's like a pulse energy. And so it's like speak. But it comes through your head, like it's coming in through the head, right? The mind, the eyes, coming in through all those, the crown, like all of those three, and then there's like go. So I bet you are feeling compelled right now to speak up or to teach something or to help people through your voice. It almost, with that intensity, it would almost feel like involuntary, like it's got to come out. It's got to come out. And who knows? Sometimes there might be things that come out of your mouth, and you're like, "Well, how'd that come out?" Like I didn't even know it did, but I can totally see that it would come out. I also see you've been doing some great work. I'm seeing some healing. Like I'm seeing these golden strands kind of wiggle up through your body and your heart, and I just feel like you've been doing a lot of healing work, which is really great. The moment you do healing work, then you can also turn around and help others. So I'm seeing that healing work. It reminds me of that, the Japanese, what is that art, the pottery art thing?
Kintsugi.
Thank you. Where it breaks and then they put it back together with the gold, and it's just even more beautiful. So it's like I'm seeing that kind of energy in you, which is really great. Like all of us have broken parts and pieces. Like if you're human, you got them. So, make them gold and shiny. And that's part of our amazingness on this planet, is to be able to then help others with what we've learned. So I'm seeing that you've got some of that going on. And I would just say, lean into it and just kind of keep going. There's a little bit of a fear that I'm seeing, that it's just kind of like a cloud in front of you. There's a bit of like a fear about maybe what other people might think, or fear of mowing people over. Like you're trying to be very thoughtful and considerate of someone else so that you're not pushing them down or pushing through them. So it's a beautiful and like heartfelt thing to do, to be considerate of another. But at the same time, it's not, because it's just at the end of the day, you're only responsible for yourself and what healing and if you're called to do something and if you ignore it for fear of harming another, then that's on you. You're going to be held accountable for whatever you didn't bring into this world and to fulfill what you were created to be. So I would take a look at that, but then that also it doesn't mean that you have to hurt somebody. So then the question becomes how can I fully express who I was created to be, and to develop and to grow into who I am, and still be supportive and loving to anyone else around me that I may feel like I'd be pushing them over, whether that be a spouse or family or extended family or whoever. It's just like, how can I be mindful of them? And really, that's just a next level of kind of boundary. That's true being assertive. Like, hey, I love me and I love you. So we're going to just respect both of us, not being passive and laying down, or you're not being aggressive and pushing over them, just that assertiveness and mutual love and care. So exciting stuff I see for you, Mitchell.
Yeah, let us know how that resonated. Okay, Michelle. She says, may I please get a reading? I feel ready to go, but I don't know where or what or how. You ladies have me really excited. I'm still trying to figure out what.
Sweet. Love it. Another gym member. Doing our quest for purpose. So yes, it is exciting. I love this. Ready to go. Like, we're ready. And now where do I go? Like, I got my ship a sailing, and which direction? So yeah, let's look at your energy for this. Okay, so this is interesting too, because I do know a little bit just about you too, and so I'm kind of seeing this transition at play. I'm seeing like that life transition, um, like you had all these kids to raise, and like you were a mom, and you kind of had more and more purpose in the night. It's like you're kind of like cusping on some of that, like, oh, okay, now I'm done with some of that. Now what? Um, and so it's not necessarily that it's gone, but it's like a completion, like you've fulfilled one of your cycles of what you're here to do, and now you're at this transition place, and what's next? Though one of the answers, or one of the questions that are kind of popping in for you, is to start to ask yourself, who do you enjoy serving? Do you enjoy serving women, men, children, youth, elderly, sick? Like, who do you love to serve? It feels like that's going to be a clue for you, because it feels like you've got a lot of this amazing serve, like giving energy, like you just know how to go in. I'm seeing these amazing abilities to like almost delegate. Like, I see like this clipboard, and you're like, okay, well, no, it's not even a clipboard that you need. It's just all in your head. It's like, okay, I know exactly what has to be done here. This person go here. This person go here. This person needs to do this. Okay, this person does that. So I see some beautiful like um, managing gifts and abilities. Um, and so now it's just, who do you serve, and who are you going to be able to go in and help with that? And perhaps there's even something that you could create or do and bring to that group of people. I'm seeing also that you do have gifts through the mouth and through teaching, and perhaps like helping and leading and guiding people with the things that you say. I also see that in a way, kind of that watchman energy that I was describing at the beginning of the thing, where it's like, and I just have to spit it out. I have to say these things because I see you have this gift of seeing like 10 steps down the road. Like, if someone makes a choice, you see how the consequences are going to like domino down into the future. So you have kind of that ability to be like, hey, choose this to avoid this. Oh, you're making that choice. Okay, that problem is going to come up for you way down the road. And so that could be a tricky one to navigate if people aren't willing to hear it, or if maybe you're maybe in a space and you don't say it the right way, right? It could come across too harsh, or too, if someone might get hurt by it instead of the well-meaning, loving intention that you meant by sharing some of those things. So I see some of those amazing gifts and abilities there. And so you could maybe channel that into teaching, leading, guiding, even correcting, like, I don't know who you like to serve, but I'm even seeing like could volunteer at a group home for troubled youth, and you could, or even help there, and then be able to say the hard things to keep them in line, but also exude love and compassion and kindness to them. So it's that beautiful balance that is so necessary on helping people. So I'm excited to hear what comes up for you on that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Michelle. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, we can do one more.
Okay. We've got Taylor. I think this is the wife of Derek, who you just read. So, hello, what fears do I have that inhibit me becoming who I need to be?
Hi, Taylor. Welcome. Okay, first of all, Taylor, I love you've got some beautiful energy in your heart. It's super kind, like super, like really, like soft and loving and kind and like nice and I feel like it feels like you definitely like care about what other people's feelings are. You're just really thoughtful and considerate of others. Um, and so I would say that that's actually one of your greatest gifts, but it also could be one of your greatest downfalls, right? It's the two sides. Every gift that's great has the light and the shadow side. So if you've got this big giant gift, and so instead of like a quarter, it's like this big of a coin of a gift, beautiful heart, compassionate, want to be nice and kind, and even wanting to thinking about others, then the flip side of that coin is maybe your self-care is low, you're not thinking enough about yourself, you put everybody else's needs in front of your own. Maybe you even get lost in I don't know what my thoughts and opinions are because you could get influenced by other people's thoughts and feelings. um, and then also too it would be immersing yourself, which I love the cute little picture there. I'm seeing some of your children, which I can actually feel too, like you're immersing yourself in motherhood, wanting to be the best mother you can. And it's all beautiful things, but then that flip side, like in a sense of like being a mother, if you don't have your own identity, then what could happen down the road, all of a sudden your children grow and then you become an empty nester. All your children are grown and out the door, and then you'll have an identity crisis because you won't know who you are because you've attached all your identity into serving your children and helping them raise and get raised and da da da. Like, and so making sure that you're really pulling in and developing your identity of who you are. For it's that knowing who you are and then letting other people develop into who they are, and then and then you can have that totally beautiful interconnected relationships. um and so it's just kind of like it's just starting to happen. So I would say that to start watching that now so it doesn't build and create into bigger problems 5, 10, 20 years down the road. And then you feel like you've really lost yourself. So, and that can be tricky sometimes. So just start asking yourself questions like, well, what do I want? What do I like? Making sure that you set time for yourself alone, which you got young kids. Don't know how that's going to look for you, but you got to create some of that space. Um, and it sounds like you've got a pretty awesome husband there too, from when I read him before too. There could even be, um, actually, I could probably say this might be actually helpful for both of you to even just see how some of the differences are, especially where he had that like inventiveness and kind of that kind of thought, and you're so caring and the soft thing. Like that could be a beautiful dynamic. Sometimes it might cross over and like speaking different languages. Like, oh, I feel like one person's saying one thing and understanding a situation a certain way, and then the other person's understanding a certain thing a different way. Um, but but overall that can be such a beautiful complement um, to each other. And it's just like I can just see that as you develop your voice and develop that self identity and knowing who you are and what you bring to this world, like as you be able to discover it more and speak into it more, then other people around you will be able to see you even more clearly. I do feel like they see you, but now you'll be able to see it and be a stronger version of it. And it's just going to start to amplify and ramp up all the dynamics of your life, whether it be marriage. Do you have something with side business? Like, do you have a craft or a hobby or a side business? I don't know. It just feels like there's something there, whether it's now or it's coming in the future. So, like, something there you could do well at and enjoy. And it can be an identity piece, and then also as your mothering and all of those categories. So, anyway, I hope that helps. That it's fun to have both of you on today.
Yeah, super fun. And thanks, Sherry, for tagging them. All right. Yeah. Let us know in the comments how it resonated. We have some comments from Mitchell and Michelle saying how theirs went. And so we'll get to those later. Thank you so much. And then if this benefited you, whether you asked a question or not, like if it benefited you, if you really enjoyed the daily reading, we had a lot of people sharing because of that daily reading at the beginning. So feel free to share this on your profile and Messenger, tag friends, and we'll see you again. Have a great weekend.
Christy, hold
Yes.
on. One thing that just popped in really strong,
Okay.
which goes along with what we were prompted with yesterday. And that is that we were very like, this was like Christy waking up in the middle of the night or like or 3 in the morning or whatever. And then we were discussing it yesterday. And because of just some of what we were feeling picking up lately, we've decided to do a flash sale on the Intuition Gym. And so it's just for the next few days. It's going to expire on Tuesday, but that is just simply because we love you and we feel you, and we're answering questions. We just see and feel all these things. And so we're going to give a flash sale today through Tuesday. And the coupon codes are monthly 22 or what is it, annual 22? I'm going to look at that.
Yeah, it's monthly.
post
I'll
that.
type it in the comments. It's coupon codes is annual 222 or monthly 22, depending on if you want to do a monthly membership or an annual membership. So that will save you. That'll actually lock in your rate like forever. So you're basically getting 33% off the membership. So either 22 a month or 222 a year. So
yeah, and
pretty
these
good deal.
the value here, like I'm looking at this going, I would have freaked out if I hadn't had this resource a decade ago or even 2 decades ago. I would have been like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Me too.
And
It would have sped up my learning curve tremendously.
right, especially in this day and age too, with everything that's going on and this hastening and quickening and all these gifts and abilities, and also feeling people feeling bloodied and just wanting that support group and everything. Like I would love to see more people there. Those prices, this is a flash sale. These prices are continuing to go up just because of the incredible value that we keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. So anyway, wanted to mention that before we got off.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right. Well, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Monday at 11 a.m. And we change time zones on Sunday. So we'll still be at 11 a.m., but now it'll be 11 a.m. daylight time, mountain. So we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.